What's up, guys? I am relaxing right now, getting ready to head to no-gi jiu-jitsu practice in a little bit. I've been having a fucking phenomenal time doing jiu-jitsu. It's been great. I do both gi and no-gi, and I've been going 5 days a week. I'm having such a good time. I got a question yesterday from somebody who's in a similar boat as me. I've been doing jiu-jitsu since October. So very fresh, very new at it. And I got a question from a gentleman who just started MMA training. And his question for me is, should I try to adapt into a ketogenic diet right now? And my answer is going to be no. And the reason why I'm going to say no is because I don't know you. And I don't know who you are. And the majority of people I know of who haven't tried a ketogenic diet before can have enormous difficulty in adapting into ketosis. Now, I'm an advocate for the ketogenic diet. It's one of the best diets I've ever done in my life. When I was in ketosis, my brain worked better. My joints felt amazing. I was burning fat like crazy. I was lean, and I was holding on to lean body mass. I was at over 200 pounds, which was actually really hard for me because I'm actually a very small person. And so I loved it. And that's one of the reasons why I recommend it to a lot of people. But I don't recommend it to people who are in the middle of an athletic season, who are just starting a new sport and just increasing their physical demands to a much higher extent than they once were. I don't recommend it to people who might be suffering from adrenal burnout, or who might be going through a high stress period right now that might lead to adrenal burnout. And the reason is because, one, keto adaptation can be a motherfucker. It can be really hard. For some of you, that process is going to take 14 to 21 days. For some of you, it might not be that hard. But if you are in the middle of an athletic season, if you are in the middle of competing for something, my philosophy on athletics and athletic seasons is this: your time to be able to spend in sport or practicing sport in an organized manner is probably limited. You should be active for the rest of your life, of course, but your time to be a high school football player, your time to be a high school wrestler, your time to be an MMA fighter, that's a very small period of your life. And if you're going to adapt into the ketogenic diet, there's a definite potential that could take away from your training for a period of time. Once you're adapted, it could feel amazing. You could feel great. But the adaptation phase, which I'm clueless about for you specifically, I don't know how long that would take, it could be extremely difficult. So I wouldn't want to risk telling you to do this when it could definitely hinder your performance for that period of time. Now, I also don't want to scare people who might want to try the ketogenic diet out away, right? Because the adaptation phase is very temporary. I'm saying that if you're an organized athlete and your season is a certain length of time, you've only got a few weeks to prep for, or even a few months to prep for a competition, or a game or a match or a fight, then a couple of weeks, 10 to 21 days can be a really big chunk of that preparation time. So I definitely don't recommend the adaptation phase or trying to adapt it to ketogenic dieting to any athlete who's in the middle of the season or in the middle of prepping for a physical competition. If you're a bodybuilder, that's another fucking story, because you're not prepping for a physical competition. You're prepping to step on stage, and that's very different. I can get into bodybuilders at a different time. So, but just realize that bodybuilders, this does not apply to you. I'm talking to performance athletes here. You really should not try to adapt while you're in the middle of a season or in the middle of a camp or prepping for any of those competitions. What should you try, though? What should you do that could actually help your performance? Try including some more fat in your diet. Try including some coconut oil. Try including some avocados. Try including some fatty fish in your diets. See how that gets you, right? Because it could definitely help to reduce inflammation. it could definitely help to give you more energy, and it could definitely help to lower the glycemic response of your meals so that you're not secreting as much insulin. So those are definite things to try. The other things that you should definitely try doing are making sure that your foods are nutrient dense and digestible. So, and I've been saying this over videos for the past few weeks, nutrient density and digestibility are the two primary things that you should be worried about in any food you put in your body. Right? We all think about calories, we all think about macronutrients, we all think about protein, carbs, and fats, but look at how nutritionally dense the food is. What I mean by nutritionally dense is what kind of vitamins are in there, what kind of minerals are in there, what kind of fatty acids are in there, because those are what are going to make you feel better and perform better. Digestibility, you really want to be concerned with your gut health during time periods like this when you're in preparation for a competition, because your gut health can affect your levels of total body chronic inflammation, and if you're inflamed, you're not going to be able to perform or think like you should be during this time period. So that's that. I hope I answered that question clearly. If you've got questions for me, if I didn't cover anything clearly, just hit me up at info@warriorsoulapparel.com.